Hi, I'm Gene. A while back, Fesley Guitar sent me a Strat guitar kit, and in this video, I want to show you how to finish the body to give you this beautiful stained, sealed, glossy guitar body. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm decided I'm going to approach this I want to remove this light lacquer sheen that's on top of this mahogany and get it to where I can apply a stain on this. Now, if you want to apply a spray can paint or a finish to this, you can, and it'll turn out great. But one thing I want you to do, run your hand on it and just feel to make sure. If you can feel something, it's going to show in your paint. So if you're going to spray paint this, feel it. Like right here, I can feel a little bit of a rise. So you're going to want to sand that. So take your sandpaper and use something like 220. This is 120. You could start with this and go up to 220. I'm going to take an orbital and I'm going to start that with probably some 120 to remove some of this and then come back and go to a softer and a softer to just get that to a point that I'm happy with. So I'm going to put this on. And then I'm going to wear your protection. So you're going to want to make sure when you're sanding this down, you get all of the edges of the material. That's going to take doing some hand sanding because you're not going to get a orbital sander in here. But that's okay. You know, you just need to basically take that little thin coat of lacquer off of this. Now, because it's so nice outside, I'm going to take this outside and do some of the sanding as well. This is one of our first spring days we've had, and I'm going to enjoy being outside. Now I'm going to continue with some 120 by hand. And mostly this is just to remove any possible of the orbital marks. And to get into these areas. I'm seeing some swirls, so I want to make sure I get those out. So at this point, you should use something like a tack rag here. I don't have a tack rag. So I'm just going to lightly dust this rag with just a tad of moisture so I can just kind of wipe off any extra dust that might be on this. And I'm hoping that I've gotten everything off of this so that it's pretty much good to go with staining. Okay, so at this point, what I want to do is put a board in that can use as the neck, just so I can move this around. You'll see what I mean very, very quickly. So I'm going to take, using these holes, and just drop a couple screws in to hold this down. You don't have to over tighten anything. This is just a temporary while you paint or stain your guitar. So whether you're painting or staining, you're going to want to do this on both of them. You know, just go get a small board that'll fit this. And trust me, this will make all the difference in the world. So now you basically have a board that I can stain this side and then flip it over and stain this side, and your edges, you're able to get to everything. I'm going to set it to the edge of my workbench like this and just clamp it down. And I'm just going to use a couple of bar clamps on this real quick. And this works perfect. So now this stabilizes the guitar and lets me work on both sides of it. Now you can make fancier ones, but I'm building one guitar, so that's how I'm going to make that work. Okay, so we're going to want to put some stain on this, and I'm hoping I got all of that sanding sealer. Now I'm thinking I want to use some Sonoma Red. This, I think, could be a really, really neat tone for this, and hopefully I can make this work well with it. Let me grab a stir stick. Okay. All right, and then, all right, let's see what we have. Ooh, I do like that color. Okay, this is working so far, so good. Ooh, that's got a very, very pretty red tone to this. It's not a bright red, but it's a deep enough red that it's showing off the wood grain. I like that a lot. Now you don't have to get crazy here because the pick guard's going to cover it, but I want it all covered anyway to be consistent. Yes, that has a really pretty tone. I'm going to pull up a little more pigment and see if I can add any of that to this. Yeah, I'm liking this a lot. If you leave this on a little longer too, it helps to get down into the wood pores. But I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot, folks. Okay, I'm gonna flip this right now, but I like that because it's still light, but I'm getting the wood grain showing up and some color into it. That is pretty. I'm gonna flip it now, like that, and I'm gonna clamp this back down, and we'll keep this going. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I like that. Oh yeah, I really do like this. This is showing me some pretty grains in the wood. Now, because I have it basically stained, to me the most important thing is going to be the top. So I'm now going to take it and flip it back over. I am really liking this. Even rubbing this stain on though, you still want to kind of go in the grain. Just keep it going with the grain. Wow, look how this pulls those grains up. Looks nice, looks pretty. It's got a nice tone to it. I'm gonna let this sit overnight, and then tomorrow to have a look at it and start doing a clear coat on it. Okay, so I've put one more coat on this, then I let it sit up overnight. It's nice and dry. I like the tone of this. So now I'm going to be starting to put the clear coat on. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. I'm going to use a product that's called Tru-Oil. This is made actually for gun stocks, and it's, even though it says it's oil, it's not like using a tung oil. This stuff dries hard and clear. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over the whole guitar and be able to work both sides of this. So you want to make sure there's no dust on this. This feels pretty good. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to poke a hole in the top of this, and then put a glove on, and I'm going to rub this in with my finger. So start, add a little bit here, and just start coating this. And like I say, this is the initial coat. I love the tone that this is already starting to give me. But your first coat that you put on this, you want to put just enough to cover. You're not wanting to flood it or anything. This is just to get your color onto the guitar. You can come back later and do a second coat. One little bottle of this goes a long ways. Okay, there, I think we have the first coat. And I'm going to let this coat sit up overnight. Okay, so the first coat is now on. So I'm going to put a second coat on this. Now, I'm not going to worry about sanding or anything between the first and second coat. And depending on how that settles down, I'll make a decision on the next coat. I'm going to apply this the same way. After letting it dry for about 12 hours, I'm going to use 500 grit sandpaper to very lightly sand this down. I'm going to start doing this same process through each coat, and each coat I'll let dry for about 12 hours. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. This has such a nice, glassy, smooth feel to it. And you know, the great thing with this is that you're able to do this in a closed environment. You know, whether you're living in an apartment or have a garage shop or something, this does not throw the fumes out. There's no spraying. This is something you hand rub into it and it dries and gives you this glass look to it. I have one more coat to go and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I'm very much liking how this is feeling and looking. I think it's going to look very good when it's finished. I mean, it's already looking good. Now in total, I did about 6 coats on this. But like I say, allowing about 12 hours between, it worked great. This turned out great, and it's a really great way to prepare a guitar body, and you don't need a lot of expensive tools or spraying equipment. You can also do this in your garage or even in your apartment because you're not, well, sanded outside, but even the Tru-Oil doesn't put off a lot of fumes. It doesn't stink. You're hand applying it. It really works well for controlled areas, and that's really nice. I also love it because it dries so hard that it protects this guitar for years. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions or comments, please put them in the comment section down below. And in the meantime, I'll see you soon.